Kia ora, good evening and welcome to Central News for Monday the 25th of August 2014. I'm Anne-Marie Case-Miller. More than 450 litres of diesel has been safely removed from the stricken Pilot House cutter that grounded on Motuhora, Whale Island near Whakatane on Friday. Bay of Plenty Regional Council pollution prevention and maritime officers worked on the unmanned boat over the weekend after it dragged its anchor and went ashore on its side on the southwestern shore of the island. BOPRC Senior Pollution Prevention Officer Adrian Hayes says staff managed to get all of the fuel off by flooding the fuel tank with water to bring the diesel to the top, where it could be pumped off into containers. The vessel's owners and Maritime New Zealand will be working together to determine how to remove the vessel from the island. Hamilton's first premier food show makes its debut on the 6th and 7th of September at Mystery Creek Event Centre. The show will include tastings, gluten-free, allergy and artisan exhibitors, the chance to cook alongside the experts, along with demonstrations by celebrity chefs Annabelle White and Nikki Wicks. Michelle Connell explains what else punters will be able to see and do at the Great New Zealand Food Show.
Well, we aim to be a food show with a bit of a difference. So it's a lot more than just going and having tastings. You can actually buy wine by the glass and food by the plate and have a lovely leisurely lunch while you're looking at all that's going on. And also we're running a series of classes, so you can learn from the experts that technique you've always wanted to perfect or the dish you've admired and take part in our WinTech cooking classes. Plus there's lots of other things to do and see while you're there.
In sport, and round 2 of the Rugby ITM Cup saw losses for both Bay of Plenty Steamers and Waikato. The Steamers lost to the Tasman Marcos at ASB Stadium on Sunday 56-27, while Waikato went down to Canterbury 58-27 on Friday night. Both teams need to regroup and focus with a fast turnaround for Waikato, who have 2 games this week, one against Taranaki on Wednesday at Waikato Stadium and then travelling to meet North Harbour on Saturday night. The Steamers have a bit longer to bounce back, travelling to Taranaki on Sunday afternoon. Staying with sport, and the turf underfoot might be blue rather than green, but Tauranga Hockey's new general manager, Mike Kerisk, is relishing the chance to swap codes, passing up rugby to take up the job. Tauranga Hockey Association this week appointed the former Tasman Rugby operations manager to the role, and his plan is to build Tauranga Hockey into a leading national association. Mike replaces Clyde Dutoy, who stepped down in June after nearly 2 years in the job. Born and bred in Tauranga, Mike has spent the last 7 years in Nelson with the rugby union, providing game development and player registrations. And finally, Hamilton celebrated its 150th birthday yesterday with a civic celebration in Civic Square in front of Garden Place. Former Prime Minister Jim Bolger, the Māori King Tuhetia, as well as descendants of original Hamilton settlers and community and business leaders gathered for the celebration. Hamilton Mayor Julie Hardacre and King Tuhetia buried a time capsule outside the City Council building, and Director of Gallagher Holdings John Gallagher was awarded the first inaugural Hamilton Medal for his contribution to the city. The medal honours the significant achievement of an individual and someone who has made an outstanding contribution to the city. As part of the 150th celebrations, there'll also be a family-friendly citywide birthday planned for November 22nd. Taking a look at the marine forecast now. Raglan, a southwest swell of 2 metres easing, becoming a variable of 10 knots on Tuesday morning. High tide 10:33 tomorrow morning. Bay of Plenty expect a southeast of 15 knots with a slight sea, becoming a variable of 10 knots Tuesday morning, and high tide 7:35 tomorrow morning. Still to come on Central News, we find out about the Dash Down Under, discover more about Daffodil Day in Matamata, and find out about Love Soup. Kia ora, welcome back to Central News. The colourful way to raise money is coming down under. Hilary spoke with the organiser to find out all the details on the Colour Dash and when it's going to brighten up Tauranga.
The Tauranga event is on October the 5th and that's our inaugural one, so we're pretty excited about that. It's going to be held at the Tauranga Racecourse down in Greerton and it starts at 2 o'clock. So every event, we've looked at the times and we think 2 o'clock on a Sunday is a good time for families and people. Hopefully they've got through all the Saturday sport and all their commitments on Sunday, and so 2 o'clock on Sunday, October the 5th, it kicks off the national tour, if you like, or the North Island tour, and hope to see lots of people down there.
So is this the only one around the country?
No, we've committed to 4 at this stage, so we've got a band coming out from the States and they're going to be here for the first 2 or maybe the first 3, and they're the band that work with the Colour Dash in the United States, so they're actually here to hold our hand a little bit too, just to make sure that we have got the support I guess we need from the States, and so they'll be playing, and we're going to Tauranga and then off to Hawke's Bay immediately after that, and we've got a Palmerston North one and a Rotorua one, so yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
How fit do we have to be? Would you recommend training for the event?
No, you don't need to train. The one that I did in the States, there were a few people that were really anxious to win it and they took off at a flying pace, but I think the majority of fun was had by the masses who were walking it, having a catch up with their friends, having some fun with their family. So, there's no prize for winning it, and the longer you're out on the course, the more fun you get. It's heaps and heaps of fun. There's just loads of colour and loads of smiles. It's a great event.
What is actually in the colour? Are we going to end up with coloured skin for life?
No, I can assure you that. It's what's called in the States cornstarch, so it's just corn flour essentially that's coloured. So when I did it up there, we were completely covered, and I mean the main thing was we bought a towel to sit on in the car on the way home, but even that was probably surplus to requirements, and then had a shower and we were completely clean again, and the clothes were in the wash and came out completely clean again. So there's no concerns there, and it's a proven formula that's been used for a long time in the States, so it's all good.
What should we wear then?
Well, it's interesting because with the registration you get a t-shirt, so most people, the one I did, most people got changed into the t-shirt, a white t-shirt, but we've heard people here who say they're coming in togas, some people are getting out their old wedding dresses, so white's the best colour to wear because obviously you get doused in colour. But you can wear the t-shirt that we supply, you can come in something of your own, or if there's a corporate team they can put on something that that's appropriate, that they might want to wear chef's outfits or whatever you want to really, but I think white's best. White would be my one recommendation.
So how can we register?
Registration's really easy. It's just a matter of going to colourdash.co.nz and choosing the city that you want to participate in and registering there. From there you just print out your registration receipt and turn up on the day, pick up your pack, you get a t-shirt like I said before, and you get a bag of colour. So here's all the lovely bags of colour. Tear these open and start throwing it, and then from there you're on your way. So it's really easy.
To register, visit colourdash.co.nz. Love Soup aims to provide free, nourishing meals and supportive services in an atmosphere of acceptance and caring for those in need. Amanda spoke with Julie King about feeding the hungry in Tokoroa.
Julie, you've featured on Central News before. For all of our new viewers, what is Love Soup?
Love Soup's about we're like a soup kitchen, but we're more than a soup kitchen. We're about helping people, and we feed them a free meal, a soup, whatever that we can resource, we'll make use of it. Yeah, so we're just there to help those in need in the community.
Excellent. And what were your personal reasons for starting Love Soup? What was it, a year ago now?
Yeah, we just had our first birthday. Well, it's I remember when I was young, through life experiences, I always wanted to start up a homeless shelter and a soup kitchen, help people, and then I dreamed that one day I would win lotto and it would happen. Well, it's pretty much happening, but it's not through winning lotto. It's actually through the community that's stepped up and helped support this cause, and through them it's just been incredible.
And who do you actually cater for? Is there a certain criteria?
We cater for anybody that would like to come along. We don't want to make them feel like they're not welcome. We love having them with us. It's for all people, all walks of life.
And what type of soup do you serve? Do you get to choose?
Well, we do serve soup, but we also serve like a main meal and a dessert usually. It's quite exciting when we cook. Sometimes we get donated some foods, and so we get to create some really exciting dishes. My favourite is the smoky bacon and vegetable soup. We always try to make sure that our meals are good, nutritious, and good for you.
Yeah, and how do you source the ingredients? What businesses help you out?
We've had a lot of support from local community members and businesses like Fonterra and Countdown that have been really supportive through the whole time. We couldn't survive without their support. Also, people just growing things for us, and establishing gardens is what we're starting up now, which is really exciting.
And how many hours a week do you roughly spend on Love Soup? Do you have another job, a family?
Oh yeah, I'm very lucky because I've got a very supportive family and a husband that allows me to do what I'm able to do. I know that I couldn't do it without them. They've been really good. They know that there's a need, and I guess their way of supporting the causes by letting me go out and do what I do.
And where can you be found?
We found at the Tokoroa East Bowling Club in Tokoroa. We're in the event centre complex via Mossop Road. We're near the netball courts, and we've also got the large bowling greens in the front. So those are where we're putting our gardens so we can grow our vegetables.
And do you serve food every day?
We serve on a Monday at 5 o'clock and a Wednesday at 12. We're usually there all day on a Monday and most of the all morning in the Wednesday, because we also have the koha shed, and that's where people come along and donate whatever they can give, and it's all given away freely. So any clothing or bric-a-brac, anything, it's all given away.
For more information, check out lovesoup.co.nz. Still to come on Central News, we find out more about Daffodil Day in Matamata, and up next, look at how to recognise the signs of bullying. Welcome back to Central News. A new campaign has been launched in Tauranga, Know the Signs of Bullying. It's aimed at parents to help them identify if their child may be the victim of bullying at school or the ever more prominent cyberbullying. Hilary spoke with one of the project leaders and asked about peer pressure. It seems to be a part of growing up. So is there a difference between peer pressure and bullying?
Okay, well, peer pressure is kind of normal. It's about your tribe, it's about the group you hang with, it's about the type of music you listen to, and actually it's normal adolescent behaviour. Whereas bullying is quite different. It's about isolating people. It's about hurting them on purpose. So it is different. Although what I do notice is that sometimes young people, this is older young people, can get into a group bullying situation when really it wasn't their intention. They just got caught up in it, and that's really important to note as well.
How would you recommend that someone who feels like they've been caught up in that kind of group behaviour get out of it?
Well, this is what the whole campaign's about. They need to tell someone. They need to learn to ask for help. And if they can figure that out from a really young age, that actually if they ask for help and they get help, it means that they'll access it in the future. There is a way, there's lots of ways, there's NetSafe, there's always the police, that's the first port of call, but also telling someone in your world who's safe, who can help you, so you don't feel isolated.
One of the signs is trying to get out of going to school. Most of us have been guilty of pulling the odd sickie. I know I did when I was younger. How do you know the difference between pulling a sickie and trying to get out of school because you're being bullied?
So a child may not want to go to school, and that could be for a whole range of issues, which is true. But I think that at that point, the parents need to get a bit closer. They need to move in a bit closer and just really check the barometer of their child. It may not be bullying, but it could be a sign of something else. One parent said to me that they realised there were things going wrong. They had they had bruises, and they couldn't figure out what it was about. But it took a whole month of sitting on that child's bed for them to actually tell them about the bullying incident, because there's a trust thing going on. They want to know that the parent isn't just running off to do this and that, but they actually care. They'll actually do something about it. And so it took a whole month. I thought that was phenomenal.
It may seem a silly question, but why do children not want to tell an adult, a parent or a teacher?
And that's a really big issue. They might think that, that they won't be believed. That's the first thing. The second thing that they don't want to tell them about it is because they think that things will be taken from them, their cell phone, or there'll be restrictions, or that they'll be stopped from seeing a group of friends or going somewhere. And that's really huge in a child's world.
If we do recognise some of these signs, as a parent, what do you recommend we should do?
On our website, there's a big long list of things to do, and there's also what not to do. So what not to do is you wouldn't go and try and talk to the parents of the other family or the other child, but there's some really great steps to take. You know, you would sit down, you'd talk it through, you'd make a plan together, so that the child doesn't feel isolated, they feel supported. You would go to the school and you'd find the right person and you'd keep going until you got the help. You know, you'd show them that you're on their team, they're never on their own. It's all about showing that sort of support and care.
As a child grows up, can bullying from when they were younger psychologically impact them for life?
Yeah, and that's a whole part of why we're trying to do this. This is a prevention, population-based health approach. And the whole idea of this is if your children know that from a really, really young age, they can tell a safe adult and they can get help and it can stop, then as they grow up and get older, they will know that that's achievable through any stage in life, and it's just a hugely important thing. It's a prevention, it's showing them family, community support.
So it's about setting children up to stand up for themselves and stand up to a bully through school, through education, through work, through relationships?
Yeah, for sure. But you know, parents can get it wrong and it can go the other way, and that's why there's some really great tips on the website to help.
What about if your child is the bully? What are the signs?
Yeah, and that's the other side of the coin. You can't talk about a sign of bullying unless you actually talk about the signs that your child could be a bully. And those signs are quite different. So a child that is a bully has a lack of empathy. They are rude and cheeky at school. They might hurt their siblings or their pets. You know, there's a whole sense of where they don't quite understand what's going on around them, and that just huge lack of empathy that they have. Yeah, so it's quite a different one, but it's a really, really important part. And one thing that's also important to note is that a child that is a bully could have been bullied themselves, which is why they do it. It's a little bit like playing it out.
Most of us want to see the best in our children. Do you think some parents struggle noticing that their child is displaying bullying behaviour?
Yeah, I think it's important for parents to look down that list, because we're trying to grow strong, courageous children that will stand up for themselves. And that can turn into manipulation, bossy, you know, isolating children, wanting to be on top, that power play. And so, yeah, I think it is important that parents teach their children empathy and caring as well as standing up for themselves. I think there's a really nice balance.
Do you think that some parents almost don't want to confront it because it could be a reflection on their parenting?
Yeah, I think that's true, and I think parents would hate to think their child was the bully, but I think it is a really important thing to look at, absolutely.
What do we do then? When you said lacking empathy, being cruel to animals, that to me rings alarm bells of psychopathic or narcissistic behaviour. What do you do?
Yeah, I think as parents, we teach our children a lot by what we do and more than what we say. And I think it's about us as parents showing what empathy looks like. And you can have that little talk to them about caring, but actually show it yourself. Take your child somewhere when you're being caring and you're being empathetic. I think we're meant to be modelling. And I think that's a huge part of the process.
You can visit knowthesigns.co.nz for a range of helpful tips and resources. Still to come, we check the weather at your place, and up next, find out about Daffodil Day in Matamata. That's next on Central News. Kia ora, welcome back to Central News. The Cancer Society's Daffodil Day appeal began on Friday, August the 1st, and runs for the entire month, ending in a national street collection on Daffodil Day, which is this Friday, the 29th of August. Matamata also has a unique fundraiser that's seen reusable coffee cups sell out. I spoke with Matamata Daffodil Day Area Coordinator Rexine Hawes to find out more. Rexine, Daffodil Day is the 29th of August, but fundraising goes throughout the whole month. And this year they've added something on a little bit different. Choose Your Challenge. What's that about?
Well, I think everyone's heard of the Ice Challenge, and I don't think everyone really enjoyed the experience. So I think anyone knows that anyone who goes through cancer is probably one of the most challenging things they'll ever do. So as a way to honour those people and a way to spread a little bit of hope, the Cancer Society is asking people to choose their own challenge, to go on to challenge.daffodilday.org.nz, and you can register your challenge, set up a Facebook page, and then ask family and friends to sponsor you while you do it. So if you're a smoker and you've always wanted to quit, you may as well quit and make sure that you're donating to the Cancer Society as well. So like anything you want to do, we'd love to hear people's ideas. I'd love to know what people come up with. But yeah, it's a great way to support the Cancer Society. And if you've wanted to quit something you've always done, like I know people who are quitting sugar for 3 months, and that might not seem like a big thing to you, but for some people it's huge. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, you just pick something that you want to do.
Great idea. Now, of course, Matamata, so supportive, such a supportive community, and you came up with an idea to do reusable coffee cups, which have sold out almost twice. Where can people get them from, and what if they're outside the area? How do they get them?
Okay, well last year we raised over $11,000 just in Matamata.
That's amazing.
So the reusable cups are going towards keeping that momentum up, because we went from 8,500 in 2012 to 11,000 in 2013.
Come on, gotta beat that.
This year we'd like to get up to 12. So reusable coffee cups, my husband and I designed them, $10 each, for $15 at Old Allium's on Arawa Street or Espresso to Go on Broadway. You can get them filled up with coffee as well. And there's also Readout Bar and Eatery on Broadway as well that are selling them. Now they're a Matamata initiative, but if you live outside the area you can pick up a cup at the Cancer Society offices. So make sure that you go there and grab one and make sure you walk around with it a lot.
Now, you've got a bake sale happening on the 22nd, and you're running raffles in a stall on the 18th, the 20th and the 22nd, all happening outside the ANZ Bank.
That's right.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so we've got some fantastic raffle prizes up. We've got 2 beautiful Nutrimedics Pamper Packs raised at, valued at $850, an outdoor photography package, which includes a canvas print that's valued at $750, and then we've got a Daffodil Day themed painting, which is done by a local artist. And then, of course, the bake sale just on the Friday. So if you're a baker, put your hat on and your apron, make something up, and then bring it down at 9:30 on the Friday morning. Make sure it's clearly labelled, gluten-free, nut-free, and delicious.
And a great way for Rotary or Lions or other clubs to get involved, Brownies, Scouts, all those sorts of things. For more details, go to the Facebook page, Matamata Daffodil Day. It's time to take a look at the weather now. Hamilton, fine and morning frosts. Hasn't the weather just been glorious? High of 14 degrees expected tomorrow after a low of 1. Around the region, Pāroa expect a high of 13 and a low of 4. Matamata 12 your high with 3 your low. Te Awamutu expect a warm high 14 with a low of 1. And a sunny 12 degrees in Tokoroa down to a chilly -1 overnight. Tauranga fine with light winds and a high of 14 degrees. Enjoy the sunshine around the bay, with Te Puke expecting a high of 13 degrees and an overnight low of 4. And that's Central News for today, Monday the 25th of August. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you join our Facebook page and let us know of news in your community. I'm Anne-Marie Case-Miller. Ka kite anō.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.